خالفتم أقوال الشيوخ فأنتم.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We're walking today together?
good. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, man. Are you a Trinitarian?
Yeah, I believe in Jesus Christ.
I didn't ask you that. I said, are you a Trinitarian?
I'm sorry. I guess I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
Oh, Lord. Do you believe
Do I believe in the Trinity?
in the deity of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
I do.
Nice. That's what a Trinitarian is. So how do you know
Thank
I'm
you.
not your God?
I know that you're not my God because, all right, here, I'll ask you a question. I think that this question could, answer that. Can you tell me my name? My full name?
Not in my human nature. No, sorry. I don't know in my human nature.
So, Jesus Christ, he says in John chapter 15 that he calls his sheep by name. So I could confidently say that Jesus Christ knows my name because I am his sheep.
Is that in his divine nature or his human nature?
Well, he's 100% God and 100% human.
Right,
so
right.
I would
But
say that it's
he's
his nature.
not all-knowing in his human nature, correct?
Well, Jesus Christ was all-knowing in his human nature because when he rose again from the dead.
Really? Oh,
Then,
oh wow.
yes.
Did he grow in wisdom and in stature in Luke chapter 2 verse 52?
In Luke chapter 2, verse 52. Can I read that? Do you care?
Yeah, no, go for it, man. Luke chapter 2
Right.
verse
I'll do
52.
it.
Apparently Jesus knew all things. So let's see it, man.
So, you're talking about like when he was a kid up to when he grew up into a man.
Sir,
I'd say yes.
Did
he
Jesus
did.
did Jesus lack knowledge?
When he was a baby, he could
Yeah.
not speak. When
Yeah.
he was this is human.
So the question was,
Human
did
nature.
Jesus at any point lack knowledge?
Yes, he did.
And he was still God, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I lack knowledge of your name, and I could still be God according to you. How do you know I'm not your God?
I know that you're not my God because you're a grown man. And because once Jesus rose again from the dead, then he did know everything. And Jesus has risen. He is risen. So since you don't know everything, I could confidently.
Yeah,
What?
no, that's a non sequitur. Can you go to Mark 13:32 for me, please?
Sure thing. Okay.
Can you read it?
No one, not even Jesus, knows the day or hour of the end times. Only the Father knows.
Does Jesus know the hour?
Jesus does not know the hour or the time. Only
Was he
the Father
grown?
knows. Yes.
Okay, so Jesus, although was God, didn't know something. Okay, so how do you
Yes.
know I'm not your God?
You know why?
Not really. I don't want to know why. I don't care why. So how do you know I'm not your God, man?
Just because Jesus didn't know the time or the hour that he would return doesn't mean that he's still not able to know my name because I am still his sheep.
Yeah, so that's a non sequitur again. You just said, because I don't know something, it follows that I'm not your God. Well,
Because you don't know my
Because-
name when Jesus claims to know his sheep's name.
yeah, he says
Yes.
that in his divine nature, though, right?
He's 100% human, 100%
right. So,
divine.
so his divine knowledge come from his divine nature, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you know that I don't know your name in my divine nature?
Because how can you completely separate your divine nature from your human
I didn't
nature?
say
He was still
separate. I
100%
didn't
human.
say. I didn't say just like Jesus didn't know the hour. Did he know it in his divine nature?
He still does not know the hour.
So God doesn't know something?
Jesus Christ, who limited himself in the flesh,
Yeah,
does
he's
not
not-
know the day or hour that he will
Yeah,
return.
is he fully God?
He is fully God.
Can you be fully
He is
God
not
and
the Father.
Can you be fully God and not know something?
Yes. Yes, you can. He purposely limited himself with his flesh.
Wait, 1 second. 1 second. So you could be fully God and not know something, correct?
Jesus Christ, fully God and fully human, limited himself by being in the flesh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So did he know it and then he forgot it? Like what happened exactly?
So Jesus Christ is begotten from the Father.
Yeah.
The Father didn't create him.
what does
He's begotten from the Father.
What does begotten mean?
It means he proceeded from the Father.
What? Yeah, that's a synonym. What does it mean?
What does it mean to? It means he came from the Father, like
Yeah,
he's
so
begotten
you're
from the
using
Father.
synonyms. I'm asking you, what does it mean?
He's always existed, but he is one with the Father.
So what does it mean to be begotten?
It means that he came from. What do you want me to give you a
Yeah,
definition?
I want to. That's exactly what I'm asking for. What does it mean to be begotten?
All right. Let me look up the true definition.
People saying you're saying, sorry guys, cinnamon
Bring
buns,
into existence.
whatever it is. Oh, so Jesus was brought into existence.
Jesus was begotten from the Father. Jesus Christ.
So was he
right?
brought into existence?
Was he created or brought into existence? Was he created or brought into existence?
Yeah, you said he was begotten. What does begotten mean?
It means he came into existence.
So Jesus was created. God was created?
I'd say the flesh was
No,
brought
not-
into existence.
No, but you
The
believe
flesh was brought into existence.
You believe Jesus is eternally begotten. You don't believe he was begotten when he became a man.
Like begotten through the Virgin Mary?
No,
What do you mean?
You believe he's always been begotten from the Father.
Jesus Christ has always been begotten from the Father.
That's what you believe. Yeah.
His only begotten Son, who always existed, who's the Alpha and the Omega.
How can he always exist if he's begotten from the Father?
Because the Father has always existed.
Right. That's exactly because the Father is unbegotten. But how could Jesus be always existent and begotten? Sorry, I don't know what that means.
Because he came from the Father.
So he came from we had a point of origin.
What?
He had a point of origin. He originated from somewhere.
The Father.
Okay, so he was created.
He is one with the Father. He always existed.
No, he can't
but the
always
flesh
exist
was
if he
begotten.
can't. What, did he come from the Father or did he always exist? Which one is it?
The Father always existed. And he is one with the Father in essence.
So
which
how
means
did
that
he? So how did he come from the Father if he always existed?
How did he come from the Father?
Yeah, to come from the Father.
The flesh. The
That-
flesh itself was
I'm
begotten.
not asking about the flesh, good sir. I'm asking about the eternal divine Son.
Jesus.
Is he begotten?
Jesus, yes, he is begotten. He is 100%
so
human.
the
100% God.
the divine Son, is he begotten?
The divine Son is begotten.
Okay, so what does it mean to
His
be begotten?
the divinity has always been there.
Yeah.
The flesh.
So I'm not asking about his abstract properties. I'm asking about the subject himself, the divine Son. Is he begotten?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So he's created. He wasn't always there.
No, he is not created.
Okay, then
Jesus Christ.
then you're just telling me
his divinity.
Then you're just telling me gibberish. You're telling me that he's begotten, but I'm asking you, what does it mean to be begotten? Because usually to be begotten, that entails and posits temporal beginning. It causes
The flesh itself was begotten.
I'm not, sir. I'm not asking about the incarnation, though. I am asking about the divine Son of God. I'm not asking about Jesus after he took on flesh. I'm asking about Jesus before he took on flesh. Was he begotten?
Before he took on flesh,
Yeah.
then he would be spirit.
Okay, was he begotten or not?
Before he took on flesh,
Was he begotten or not?
before he took on flesh.
Yeah.
That's a great question. And if I were to answer
need
that,
a good answer, please.
I guess I don't have the answer right now.
So, okay, let's try it this way. Was the Father always a father?
The Father was, yeah, he's always been the Father. Well, I mean, technically, you could say that before he had his children, then he wasn't a father. He was just God. Can't you say that?
Jesus hasn't always been the Son of God?
Oh, well, that's what you were asking? Are you talking about... Can you clarify your question?
The
That's a good
Father's,
question.
the Father's
Oh,
always been a father because he's always had a son, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So the Son of God, before he took on flesh, was he begotten? Was he a son?
Before he took on flesh?
Uh-huh. Was he a son, or
Yes.
did he only become the Son of God after he took on flesh?
I'd say he was always the Son.
Okay, so he was always begotten.
Always begotten. He always, the flesh, Jesus Christ had always
What
proceeded
makes
from the Father.
good? So he was always begotten. That's what makes
For
him
his,
that's what
for all
makes
of
him the
eternity.
yeah, that's what makes him the son, right?
Okay. Yes.
Him being begotten or him proceeding is what makes him the son of God. Otherwise, why are you calling him the son of God?
Right.
Okay, good. So Jesus has always
Okay.
been begotten, correct?
Yes.
How can someone always be begotten? How does that make sense?
Because God is eternal.
Okay, nice. So somebody could always be unbegotten. How could Jesus always be begotten, though? Is what I'm
Because
asking.
he's also God. And that's like,
Yeah, that begs the question. I'm asking you, if Jesus is begotten, and conventionally, when you use the word begotten, we
yes.
associate that with a certain process. To be begotten is to be caused, is to not exist and then begin to exist. Okay, it's to be contingent. It's
He's
to be
eternally begotten.
actualized.
So,
So now you're using a word and its meaning is unknown. Because the meaning of begotten is to be caused and actualized. It's to be an offspring of usually two of the same kind. That's what being begotten means. It means ontological likeness. It's to be
eternally
actualized.
begotten
So
is
what does
different than begotten.
okay? What does it mean to be eternally begotten? What does that even mean?
It means that his relationship of the Son proceeds from the Father, or being generated from the Father, which means he's always existed.
Okay. Watch. Ready, guys? We're gonna try something. You see this watch right here?
Yes.
I just cut this watch. I cut it. Do you have a problem with me just saying I cut this watch?
You didn't cut the watch.
No, I cut it.
But you didn't. It's right there
No,
fully
but
whole.
I eternally cut it.
But there's no cut in it. So that
Oh.
makes no sense.
Oh, okay. So the word cut has certain implications. That must be the case, correct? Otherwise, the word
Well, I
cut
mean-
becomes unintelligible, right?
I'm not following here.
Okay. Did I cut this watch?
No.
Why not?
Because it's completely whole.
Oh, so when you use the word cut, it implies what?
It means that you split it up.
Okay. So when you use the word begotten, that implies what?
It means that it proceeds from that. So let's say
Okay,
that.
so it has a point of origin. So it's temporally caused and actualized.
But the thing is, if you were to split up that watch, it would be half of a watch and then half of another watch. It wouldn't be one full watch and one full
Yeah,
watch.
I think
Jesus is
I
100%.
think it's flying over your head, dude. When you use the word begotten, that means something. You're not just using the word without meaning.
Yes.
Just like when I use the
Yes.
word cut, it must mean something. So the word begotten has a process that we identify with it. It's to be caused. It's not to be eternal. Because that which is begotten cannot be eternal. How can you be eternally
itself.
begotten? How does that work?
Well,
Eternally begotten.
That means that. So begotten itself means that there was a beginning, right?
So Jesus has a beginning. You just said he's
No,
eternal.
because I'm explaining. Someone who is begotten implies a beginning, but eternally
Correct.
begotten implies no beginning.
Dude, so begotten implies a beginning, right?
He's eternally begotten. which means he's
Let's try
always-
this. Let's try this again. Begottenness implies a beginning, correct?
Yes, by itself. By
Good.
itself, yes.
So eternal begottenness is just like saying eternal beginning.
No, it means that he's always proceeded from the Father.
So he's always
eternity.
always had a beginning.
Always had that is not what eternally begotten means.
So what does begotten mean here when it's coupled with eternal?
It means that you are proceeding from something.
when you
at a
are
certain point in
proceeding
time.
from something, you have a beginning. You have a point of
Yes.
origin. Okay, let's Let's see.
Until you
okay,
throw in the word
watch
eternally.
watch this. This is not the best example, but you see this? All right, you see this mic proceeds from the box. How can the mic eternally proceed from the box? What does that
You
even
can't,
mean?
because you cannot do that because you're inside of space and time.
God is outside of space and time?
God himself, yes. Because think about it. The universe has a beginning.
Watch this.
Which,
Watch this. Was there a time when God existed without time?
yes.
Did you just hear yourself, dude?
Yes. God. So you're limiting God to
there
space
was
and time?
there was a time when God existed without time.
It was before time. So technically there's not a time. It would be before time itself.
Good. So there is no time when God existed without time.
Well, I mean, technically there was. Before the
Okay.
beginning.
You see? That's why time is eternal. It's uncreated. Because time is
What? No, it is not. Time is not eternal. There is clearly a beginning of the
you want me-
universe.
Yeah, just because there's a beginning of the universe, it doesn't mean time began with the universe. Okay.
It could have began before, you're right.
No,
but
no,
eventually
time,
it
time,
will-
sir. There's no such thing as time began. There's no
What do you-
such thing, because time is an
Ti-
abstract concept. Time, okay, is the relation that exists between two states. I go from state A to state B. What's the relation between state A and state B? I was here, and then I was here. That's time.
Yes.
So time is the measurement of movement or change. That's what time is.
Okay.
And because
So then-
God, stop. Because God has eternally existed and has eternally been doing things, going from one state to another, time has always been there. Because time is not a substance. God didn't create a box that's floating around called time. Okay? So, and that's evident because I asked you, was there a time when time didn't exist?
Yes.
But that implies time.
Well, no, because time.
So there is no
Right,
time.
so
So
every
there is
second-
no. So there is no time when time didn't exist.
Let me ask you this:
No,
Is
no,
heaven perfect?
you have to answer. Yeah, you can't just get away from the question. You have to answer, dude.
I'm not. I'm
All
answering
right.
the question.
So
Is
answer.
heaven
So
perfect?
answer. Was there a time when time didn't exist?
Yes. There was a point
So then that,
in
that
eternity.
But that implies
there was
time.
a point in eternity.
You just said
There was a point in eternity
but
where
that
time
im-
did not exist. Yes.
So that implies time, though.
Because time is not eternal. Time is
Of-
not
of-
eternal.
of course
But
it is.
outside of space and
Of-
time
of
is
course.
eternal.
Of course it is. There's no such thing as outside of space and time. That's gibberish. That's gibberish.
What do you
Here,
mean?
let me ask you. When I say right now, does that imply time?
Right now does imply time. Yes.
And God exists outside of time, correct?
Yes.
Does God exist right now?
Yeah.
So God
Because he
God is
he
inside of
exists
so God
everywhere
so
at
God
once.
so God is inside time.
He exists everywhere at once.
Is God inside time or outside time?
He can do both. He can be in both.
Sir, you just said he's outside of time and space. Now he is all of a sudden? Like, what are you talking about?
Is God omnipresent?
No, not in the way that you understand.
He is not omnipresent, and
Not-
well, I mean,
not-
the way
not-
that you're explaining it is
In the
showing
way
he's
that
not
you
omnipresent.
understand.
I believe that he is omnipresent.
Is he in my pocket?
God is everywhere.
Is he in my
And also
pocket?
outside of
Is he
space.
in my pocket?
I mean, is God in your pocket?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know. He could be.
But I thought he's everywhere, and my pocket is one of the wheres, is a place. So is
If
he
I
in-
was inside your pocket and praying to God, then he would be right there with
okay,
me.
sir?
So
Is
yes,
he everywhere? Or is he not? You're picking and choosing. Is he everywhere? That
He is
includes
everywhere.
my pocket. So that includes my pocket.
God is
because-
not physical.
Okay, my pocket is a where, right? Is a place.
Yeah, he can be there.
Is,
Yeah,
is your God in my pocket right now?
he is everywhere. He's in your pocket.
Okay,
he's
is
in my pocket.
in
it
one
doesn't
of
matter
so
where.
everywhere? That includes the set of all places, correct?
Yeah,
Is my pocket a place?
Technically, yeah.
So your God is in my pocket.
Yep, he's also outside
So
of your
your God,
pocket.
yeah,
He's everywhere.
yeah, dude. Is he also in my toilet?
He is everywhere. God is omnipresent.
Is he in my toilet hole?
God is everywhere.
Is he
You
in
can
my
say, you
is
can
he is he in my
explain
is he in
it
my
however you
hey
want.
dude dude, is he in my toilet hole?
If you are praying underwater,
Okay.
can your God
All
hear
right.
you?
All right. Yeah.
Can he?
Yeah. So that's exactly what we
Okay.
believe. When we say God is everywhere, we mean that he's everywhere in his vision, meaning he sees everywhere, and he's everywhere in his hearing, meaning he hears everywhere. Not that he's literally in his essence everywhere. No, he's above the
Then why
throne,
not?
above the heavens. Why not? You want me to tell you why?
Yeah,
When Jesus ascended, where did he go?
to heaven.
Why?
Because he went to go be with the Father.
So the Father is in heaven?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay. So the Father is not everywhere. He's in heaven, right?
He's in heaven and he's here. He's
No,
everywhere.
Show me where Jesus says that he's here and he's in heaven. Why didn't Jesus just stay if he's everywhere? Why did he say in John 20:17, I go
That he is
up,
leaving.
I go up to my Father and your Father, my God and your God. He's going up. So his Father and his God is up. He's above the heavens. He's on his throne. Isaiah chapter 6 tells us that Isaiah saw God seated on his majestic throne. The Psalms tell us
Yes.
that God is on his throne. The Torah tell us that God is on his throne. The prophets tell us that God is on his throne. So God
Yep.
is on his throne. He's not everywhere. He's on his throne.
Yes. He's
Yeah.
omnipresent. So he's on his throne and he's with us at the same time.
Is he in hell?
No, God, hell is absence of God.
Oh, okay. So he's not everywhere. All right. There we
He's
go.
everywhere
so God,
that he chooses to be.
So God is not everywhere. Fantastic. All right, man. So since we established that
But-
God is outside of time, or he's not outside of time, he's in time. Meaning
He is
that
both.
he acts temporally. God created the heavens and the earth in how many days? Good sir?
It says in Genesis that he created it in 6 days.
Wow, is that time?
Yeah, he
Nice.
created time.
God acts in time. No, it doesn't say he created the days. It says he did X, Y, and Z in 1 day,
God
2 day, 3 day,
crea-
4 day, 5 days, 6 days. Okay? Time is not something.
God created.
Yes, yeah, no. Time is not something created, Habibi. Yeah, time is
It is.
is abstract.
Because eternity itself is a place without time because there is no time moving forward.
Because
if time is moving forward, it's moving towards perfection.
Eternity is not a place. Okay? Eternity
Eternity is a
eternity
it's a
is
set.
not-
It's
not-
outside of space and time.
No, there's no such thing as eternity outside of space and time. That's gibberish. So now let's go back to eternally begotten. What does that mean?
Everything inside of space and time has to have a cause. Everything inside of space and time has to have a cause.
Interesting.
But God-
Interesting. Was Jesus inside of space and time?
He was.
Did he have a cause?
Jesus did not have a cause. He was uncaused.
Oh, okay.
He
then
was the uncaused cause.
So then your argument flops. Anyways,
That's
so
not true.
How do you?
Everything created has a cause. Jesus was not created. He is begotten. Eternally begotten.
What's the
which we talked about earlier.
What's the difference? Actually, you know what? Let's take you to Proverbs chapter 8, verse 22. Can you read it for me?
Sure. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his work, the first of his acts of old.
Okay, so Jesus is the first of God's acts, correct?
No.
So who's speaking here?
Who's writing this?
No,
Proverb?
who's speaking in this verse? Not who's writing.
Well, I mean, Solomon wrote the
I didn't ask you
Proverbs.
who. I didn't ask you who wrote it. I asked you who's speaking in Proverbs chapter 8.
Here, let me read the rest of. Let me read it around it real quick, just
Sure,
so that
man.
I have
Sure.
the answer. Does not wisdom call out?
Uh-huh.
Does not understanding raise her voice?
Uh-huh.
So, is it wisdom that's speaking?
The wisdom of God is personified as speaking. The wisdom of God says, I am the first
I'm pretty sure it's wisdom.
Let me finish.
He's writing in wisdom's place.
Yeah, so wisdom is personified as speaking. and wisdom says that she was there before everything was created, that she was there
Yes.
with God, that she was there before the mountains were set in place. She is God's first act.
Yes.
Who is the wisdom of God who was there before the world?
Well, isn't God wise? Doesn't he possess all the wisdom?
I asked you, who is the wisdom of God speaking here?
The wisdom of God?
Yeah?
He's just writing in wisdom's place. I don't think it's a person.
Oh, okay. Well, Paul disagrees with you. Can you go to 1 Corinthians 1:24?
Yes. But to those whom God has called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God.
Jesus
You're saying that
is
Jesus is the lady wisdom that the
Yeah.
Proverb chapter 8 is talking about.
is Jesus the wisdom of God?
Technically, yeah. God is
Okay.
also the wisdom of God.
God is the
But
wisdom
that
of God?
I could
What-
yes,
what-
God
what-
has
what-
wisdom
what-
and it belongs to him.
I didn't say, yeah, God has wisdom, and his wisdom is Jesus Christ, correct?
Are you saying that the Father without Jesus Christ has no wisdom?
No, dude, that's not what we're saying, okay? We're saying,
Then
listen, wisdom
okay.
in Hebrew is chokmah, okay? That in Greek is Sophia or logos. Who's the logos of God?
Who is the wisdom of God?
The logos. John 1:1. In the beginning was
The word.
the logos.
The word.
Word
Yes.
in Greek is logos. And the word and the logos was with God, and the logos was God. Logos is the masculine version of wisdom, of Sophia. So in Christian
Okay.
theology, and I'm shocked that you don't know this, the wisdom speaking in Proverbs, the one who is begotten, the one who was there before the world was created, the one who was there with God before the mountains were set, is the logos, the wisdom. As Paul says, Jesus is the wisdom of God. You understand?
Okay. I understand.
All right.
But the wisdom.
So who is
the wisdom?
so when the wisdom of God says, "I was there before God created, I was the first of His works." Who is speaking there?
Originally, okay. So it's the wisdom.
And who is the
Originally,
wisdom? And who
the
is the
context-
wisdom of God?
Hold on. Let me finish this thought, and then I'll get to that.
Sure, man.
Originally, Proverbs chapter 8, wisdom was a poetic personification, not a literal person, not
Yeah,
explicitly
that's
Jesus.
that's what Jews believe. Christians don't believe that it was a poetic personification. Christians believe that the wisdom speaking is literally Christ. You're giving me a Jewish
Yes.
interpretation.
Many early Christians and church fathers did see Lady Wisdom as a foreshadowing, symbolic representation of Christ. A symbolic representation,
Yeah, so
not
who's
literal.
okay, symbolic. First of all, that's not even the
Yes.
case. Second of all,
What?
who's the wisdom speaking here? Is it Christ speaking?
It's a representation of a
Oh,
foreshadowing.
okay. So
of
what
Jesus
wisdom?
Christ.
So what the wisdom is personified as saying applies to Christ, right?
I would say partially.
Partial. What do you mean? You pick and choose? What do you mean partially?
Well, I mean, when you read a narrative of any biblical text, you have to be able to decipher the narrative.
Yeah.
You'd
Who
be
is?
able to-
Yeah. The whole chapter is wisdom speaking. You
Yes.
just admitted that wisdom is foreshadowing Christ. That's Christ. It applies to
Yep,
Christ.
it's a foreshadowing and a
Good.
representation. Yes.
Proverbs 8, everything applies to Christ because Christ was there before the world. Christ was with the Father before He created everything. Christ was begotten from the Father, and so on and so forth. Correct?
Yes, it was eternally begotten from the Father.
Good. But here Proverbs 8 says that Christ is created. That wisdom was created by God. It's the first of God's acts.
Acts, his first acts.
So was Jesus the first of God's acts?
I would say no, because Jesus is outside of space and time. Wisdom itself.
Okay. So then
You can decipher. You
so
can
then
decipher
Jesus
this.
is not the wisdom of God.
He is the wisdom of God.
Okay,
But
so
also
was the
Father
wisdom of
also has
God
his own
was the
wisdom,
wisdom
right?
of God the first of God's acts?
The wisdom of God was the first. That's what it says here. But I
Okay,
would argue that that wisdom that
Jesus was the first of God's acts.
I would no. I would say that that in
Are we
Proverbs chapter
reading
8
Chinese or
is not
something, dude?
directly about Jesus.
You just said
It
it's
is a
about.
reflection, a shadow, and a foreshadowing of Jesus
Okay, so then
Christ.
it is
It is
about
not
Jesus.
Jesus
If
Christ
it
himself.
foreshadows Jesus Christ, it's about Jesus. Are you using words that like what are you doing, bro? It
Foreshadowing,
foreshadows
it's a
Christ,
shadow
correct?
and a reflection.
Right. So
It's not him.
everything said there is about Christ, correct?
It is a foreshadowing.
Okay,
Not everything in a
bro,
foreshadowing has to
you're
be
pissing me off,
exactly about.
man. Stop being disingenuous, bro. What does it mean
There we go.
foreshadow?
All right,
Yeah,
I just proved that you're not my
what
God.
does foreshadow
I
mean?
just proved that you're not my God.
Yeah, nice.
I
What does
just proved that
foreshadow
you're not
mean?
my God. A foreshadowing? It's
Yeah.
like a kind of hinting at it.
Hinting at it. What's hinting?
The text
What's the hint?
that the wisdom of God is going to come to earth.
Oh, okay. So everything that wisdom says there applies to Christ, correct?
No.
So what's the foreshadow?
The foreshadow is that Jesus Christ is going to come to earth.
And
But here,
where does
let
it
me-
no, stop. Where does it foreshadow it there?
We're getting very off topic.
Yeah, no, we're very on topic. Where does it foreshadow it there? So these people use words
Foreshadowing?
that with no meaning. Where is the
That would
foreshadowing
shadow.
in Proverbs
It would
8?
shadow Christ.
Yeah,
Are
where
you,
is
are
it?
you your shadow? Are you your shadow?
No,
Are you?
No, I'm the tree. Sir, where is the foreshadowing in Proverbs 8?
Where's the foreshadowing? Here,
Yeah.
let me go back to it.
All right.
I just switched to the
Let's
chapter.
wait.
After we finish this part of the conversation, I did prove that you're not my God.
No, you haven't proved that yet. Still
I did.
waiting. No, you haven't.
So let's finish this conversation first, and then I'll jump to why
Yeah.
I say that.
Sure thing, man.
All right.
Find the foreshadowing.
So all of this, you could say that all of this is, metaphoric. Like, for example,
Metaphoric. What's metaphoric?
right here, is Jesus a woman, for example?
No, wisdom
He's
is
not
not,
a woman.
sir. Is the wisdom of God a woman or a man?
It says, does wisdom not call out? Does not understanding raise her voice?
Oh Lord, this is so bad. The Hebrew word chokmah is a feminine word. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is the wisdom of God a girl?
No, it's
Good.
it's genderless.
Good. So it's only speaking as a woman, because the word in Hebrew is feminine. The
Okay.
male version or the masculine version of that is logos, which is used for Jesus in John 1:1. And remember, Paul says that Jesus is the wisdom of God. Did Paul call Jesus a woman?
No.
Okay, so then the argument fails. Now, can you answer the question?
Is Jesus the first of God's acts? No.
So he's not the wisdom of God?
Well, that's what is written. But I'd still say that he's not the first of God's acts because he is
Okay,
eternally
so he's
begotten.
not. So he's not the wisdom of God.
Because first represents time.
All right, exactly.
And God and Jesus is
That's exactly my point. So if Jesus
this
is
is remember, this is poetry. This is poetry.
wow, nice, man. The book of Isaiah is almost all poetry. Doesn't mean that it doesn't speak the truth. So I don't know
You're right,
why
but the
you
thing is-
mentioned things that are completely irrelevant. Wow, it's poetry. No way, man. No, I thought it was a kid's book. Come on, bro. What are we doing here? Is Jesus the wisdom of God?
It is. He is.
Nice.
But he is not the first of God's
So the
acts.
wisdom of God says that I am the first of God's acts, correct?
Wisdom itself does not have to be associated with Jesus because the Father has his own wisdom
Oh
as
my
well.
God. Jesus is he the wisdom of God?
Yes, he is the wisdom of
Wow,
God.
so
but
Jesus is the
Father
wisdom.
has his own wisdom too.
Is Jesus the word of God?
Yes, he is.
Does the Father have his own word?
The Father speaks the word.
Does he
And the
have his
Word
own? Does he
is
have his own word?
It's Jesus.
The Father doesn't have his own word.
The Father's word is Jesus.
So the Father can't speak. He's mute, like an idol, like a brick.
No, he's not. He's not mute.
Can the Father
He
speak?
speaks. The Father can speak.
Can
We've seen him
Jesus
speak
speak?
in the Gospels.
Can Jesus speak?
Yes.
Oh, so they both have their own words. But Jesus is still the Word of God, right?
He is.
Nice, man. So, again, your argument fails. So, is Jesus the wisdom of
So-
God, sir?
He is.
Nice. Is the wisdom of God in Proverbs 8 personified as saying, I am the first of God's acts?
That's what it says.
Nice. So, Jesus is the first of God's acts.
I'm still saying that he is not because he's eternally
Dude,
begotten.
are you pranking me or something? Are you like, what are you doing, bro? Why are you being dishonest with yourself?
I'm not.
Why are you being
I'm not.
disingenuous? Yeah, you are. You are.
I'm not. Because he is eternally begotten.
And remember,
So
you
he is
said
not the
you
first
said
of
you
God's
said you said first implies causality and temporality, right?
Yes, first does.
Can you go to Colossians 3, please?
Yes. Real
right.
quick, can I say why you're not my God?
After Colossians, you could go. You could say it. Go to
Right,
Colossians 3,
sounds good.
please. Colossians 1:15, sorry, not 3:15.
That's okay. Okay.
All right, can you read it?
The Son is the Son of the invisible God, the firstborn over all
He is
creation.
the visible image of the invisible God.
Yes.
Keep going.
Oh, you want me to read verse 2?
Yes.
For in him all things were
No.
created.
The other half of the verse you just read.
Yeah. The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation.
Is he the firstborn of creation?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay, so he is created.
So this. One second.
You just said to be first. That
Yes.
implies temporality.
He is. This means that he is the. Hold on, let me read it again.
Yeah.
The firstborn over all creation.
Yeah. The Greek says of all creation, but it's okay. We could let it go. Is Jesus the firstborn?
He is the firstborn and first in rank.
All right.
Not necessarily first in time, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice ChatGPT, man. So how is Jesus the
What?
firstborn over all
What?
of creation?
it says he's firstborn over all creation, and I guess you said the Greek says of.
Yeah, the Greek says of creation, by the way. So is he the firstborn of creation?
The firstborn. Here, wait. Can I let me look up the Greek.
All right, man.
So it's hos. So it's who is image of God, the invisible firstborn
Yeah.
of all creation.
So he's the firstborn of creation, correct?
Yes.
All right. So how's he the firstborn of creation?
That's it. I mean, these are all great questions,
Do you have a great answer?
and I don't have a great answer for you.
All right. You
I
said,
can
you,
admit
you
that
said,
I don't have
you
a
said,
great answer here.
Nice, man. So you said being firstborn or the first act of God necessitates temporality and causation, correct?
You know, I don't want to answer that just because I don't have that true answer right now. But
All right, man. So
if you know,
so
we could
earlier
talk again, then I would love to.
Earlier you said that. Now you know you don't know anymore. No problem. All right. Well,
I do know that Jesus Christ
how did you
is
prove him
begotten,
not?
not made,
Yeah.
consubstantial with the Father. I do know that,
And
and I can
you're reading,
explain
You're reading,
better.
you know what's crazy?
No, I'm not reading anything.
You know what's crazy?
What?
You're repeating creedal confessional statements while you don't even understand what
Yes.
they mean. What does it mean to be consubstantial?
Means that he's one.
No, it doesn't.
Consubstantial means with like substance. So he's one in essence with the Father.
He's one in essence with the Father. What does that mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Means that he's 100% God. He's God, just like how God the Father is.
He's God just like how God the Father is, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yes.
What if I told you that he can't be God just like God the Father is?
Well, I mean, technically he has flesh, so I guess that differentiates him.
No, that's hypostatic. That's a personal property.
Okay, so it would still make him the same, is what you're saying.
No, well, having flesh wouldn't make him different, but him being begotten would make him different. Is God necessarily
That's
unbegotten?
true. Necessary. Is God the Father?
No. For X to be God, does it necessarily have to be unbegotten?
No.
Nice. Let's try that with the Father. The Father is God, correct?
Yes.
So he doesn't have to be unbegotten.
The Father is unbegotten.
But he doesn't
It's
have
not
to,
about a half.
But he doesn't have to be
like he
unbegotten.
is.
No, I understand. But he doesn't have to be unbegotten, correct?
Well, I mean, the Father, the Father, I guess, would have to be unbegotten because he is.
So the Father has a
unbegotten.
different kind of divinity, so he doesn't have the same essence.
No, that's not true. He does have the same
in,
essence.
So in for you to have the divinity, do you have to be begotten, or do you have to be unbegotten? Sorry.
No, you don't have to be.
Okay. Does the Father have the same exact divinity, where you don't have to be unbegotten,
The Father has the same divinity.
where you don't have to be unbegotten?
It's not a half. It's a
I'm
is
well,
and isn't.
I'm asking about necessary properties. Does the
The
Father,
Father himself
does the Father
have to be.
Does the Father have the divinity where X must be unbegotten?
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm following here.
Does the Father have the kind of divinity that necessitates being unbegotten? Or does the Father have the kind of divinity that allows the subject to be begotten?
The Father has to be unbegotten.
Okay. And is that in accordance to his divinity?
Like, does his divinity defined by him being unbegotten?
Yes.
I would say no, it's not.
So the
like
so the
100%.
Father does not have to be unbegotten in his divinity.
The Father. So why does being begotten make you any less divine?
What we're gonna show you right now. So please answer. Does the Father have the
The
kind
Father
of
has to be unbegotten because
okay, and that's in
things
accordance
proceed from him.
right. So the Father has the kind of divinity that necessitates him being unbegotten. Correct?
Yeah, he does have to be unbegotten.
Good.
Yes, the Father has to be
Does the
unbegotten.
Son have the kind of divinity that necessitates him to be unbegotten?
Necessitates? Like, why? Can you explain to me why it's a divinity? It's a necessity in his divinity.
Because there are certain things that are necessary in order for a thing to be constituted by that identity. Or
The
for
Son-
something.
the Son
So for
has to be
example,
begotten.
in order for a human to be a human, he must have a soul, correct?
Yes,
It's necessary for him to have a soul, correct?
for a human being to have a soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. So that's what we call a necessary property. So now you understand what that is. Let's go back. Does the Son have the kind of divinity that necessitates him being unbegotten?
No, he doesn't have the necessity to be unbegotten
Does
because
does the Father have the necessity to be unbegotten?
He does, yes.
So the Father has a different kind of divinity than the Son.
No, they're both 100% God. This one proceeds from.
Dude, you just said the Father has the divinity that necessitates unbegottenness. The Son
Yes.
has the divinity that does not necessitate unbegottenness. So there are two kinds of divinities.
There's not two kinds of divinities because they're both God.
Bro, are you guys trolling me right
They're the
now?
same
What's
in
going on?
essence.
Hey, what's going
They're
on,
the
brother?
same in essence.
Hey, sir, they can't be, that's the point. They can't be the same in essence if one has a necessary property and the other does not have a necessary property. Just like I told you, in order for X to be a human, X must have a soul. It's necessary, correct?
Yeah.
Good. So if X does not have a soul, X is not a human, correct?
Yes.
Good. In order for X to be the same kind of divinity as the Father, does X have to be unbegotten?
No, he doesn't.
Good.
He doesn't have to be unbegotten.
Now watch this.
To have the same essence as the Father.
Good. Does the essence of the Father necessitate him being unbegotten?
The essence of the Father necessitate him being unbegotten. Like him being God in general?
Unbegotten. Does the essence that the Father possesses necessitate him to be unbegotten?
In his role of authority as the Father, yes, it does.
I'm asking about necessary properties, not hypostatic ones.
In
order for the Father to possess his essence, his divine essence, does he have to be unbegotten?
Him being God?
In order for him
doesn't.
to
In order for the Father to be the Father.
I'm not asking in order for him to be the Father. I'm asking in order for him to be God.
No, he doesn't have to be unbegotten.
Good. So he could be begotten.
Like the Father? Mm-hmm. No.
So he has to be unbegotten.
The Father, as the role, has to be.
I'm asking about the subject.
Just God himself. Just God himself.
Yeah, the Father. Yeah.
The Father is a different person.
Then God?
No. Than the
So
Son.
the Father is God. So I'm asking you,
The Father is God. You're right.
order for the Father to possess his divine nature, is he, does that necessitate him to be unbegotten?
And nature?
Yes.
His nature is God. So no.
Good. And if something is not necessary, then it could be otherwise. Correct?
Well, I mean, that's what we see in Jesus.
Sir, if something is unnecessary, it could be otherwise. Correct?
Is it necessary for the Father to be unbegotten?
Okay, sir.
It is necessary for the Father to be...
Sir.
I'm sorry,
I'm getting
we're
tired.
running in circles right now.
Yeah,
We're
running
running
in
in
circles
circles here.
because you're dishonest.
You and I
know
are
you're
not seeing eye to eye.
So we're
That's
not
okay.
seeing eye to eye because you can't be honest with yourself because you know you're
I am being honest.
So let's see if you're honest. Sir, I'm going to ask you again. If something is not necessary, that thing could be otherwise. Correct?
If something is not... Yes.
Good. Is the unbegottenness of the Father in accordance with his divinity necessary or unnecessary?
Are you saying... You're saying as the Father. That's where I'm getting mixed up. Because God himself...
Dude, stop. It's a simple question. What's your name?
I'm answering it.
What's your name?
What is my name?
Yeah.
My name is Connor.
Connor, what color hair do you have?
I have brown hair.
Could Connor exist with blue hair?
Yes.
But Connor has black hair. How could he exist with blue hair?
Because he could change his hair color.
Because having black hair is not necessary for Connor to be a human, correct?
Yeah.
Good.
That's a physical aspect.
Good. So now, the Father is only the Father if he has paternity. Yes?
Like if he's a dad?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Is paternity necessary to divinity?
No, it's not. It doesn't have to be.
Good. So the Father could be not a father.
The Father could be not a father?
Because you said that which is not necessary can be otherwise. Paternity is not necessary Therefore, it could be otherwise. Correct?
Well, I mean, if God is a father, then he has to be a father.
If Connor has black hair, then
Necessary.
he has to have black hair. That's what you're saying right now.
So what's your name?
All right, brother. You're
No.
Thank
Just
you,
wait
bro.
a second.
Thank you.
Wait.
Thank you, man.